Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me again back here. It's a great pleasure to be here and to tackle one of the most heated debate today that you can hear everywhere, that we are going to have massive unemployment, we're going to lose jobs, and people will go hungry on the street. Is it? I'm not sure, but let's find out. So, let's see if this works. You see, with no technology, we are doomed. So, till the technology will be addressed, let me tell you a few words about myself. As was said here, I'm up to 2 years ago, I was the chief scientist in Israel. It's a government body that invests in startup, in high-tech, $500 million annually, which trigger a matching from the private sector of about 500 to 750 million dollar, meaning that we're creating about $1-2 billion annually to invest in technology and in breakthrough technologies. And that kind of a lot of weight into address entrepreneurs in the times that they barely know what they want to do. And I will be happy to elaborate on that much more. Before that, I spent 22 years in the capital equipment for semiconductors and a long list of my career. But I want to start with the ancient human being. And in the days that we were using a stone to hunt, and in the days that we're using some adding to the water in order to color them, in the days that we lived in cave, and that was the first time that technology showed up. All of a sudden, you need a knife. You need to light the fire. You start to use technology. How can I use it? So if the concern that we all taking the evolution, the human being, down to the drain because we use technology, we may not do any progress. In that case, we may still live in the cave. Do we want it? I don't know. I don't even ask you to raise your hands. So through the history of humankind, we went through one revolution to another, and if we go all the way back from the cave into the 1780, then we have all the machinery and steam engine and the industrial revolution. And that was a major concern, and a lot of in the history books on how people lost their job and how people were concerned that they will not have a way to feed their family. But in reality, it actually created more productive society, more jobs were created, but on a different type of skills. The same with the electronics. As soon as electricity came and the electronics started to come in, and instead of switching board that many people were switching phone call from one place to another, I don't know, some of you too young to even know what I'm talking about, others remember it, but there was a day that you could not dial directly to one point of contact to another. You have to go through a switchboard, and a lady or a man were sitting there and transfer plugs in order to connect you. And those days are over. And then all the automation came. But look, it's from 1718 to 1870, it's about 90 years. The next revolution of automation, it's another 100 years. So every 90 to 100 years, there was another revolution, and then in 2011, the digitization comes. So now we start to close, it's only 40 years, close the timing here. And in digitization, again, computer and the capability to harness a lot of data very fast. And we came into what we say today, the personalization or the interaction between people and robots and cyber to protect it and so on. And now it's from 2011 to 2022, and if I will take now ChatGPT, which is another major, major revolution that we just see the tip of the iceberg of it. It's only 4 or 5 years, or 3 years from the time it starts. So technology is no longer merely a sector of the economy. Today, technology become the economy. And we all better put it deep in our head, especially in Europe, that if we, Europe, stay, or in the Middle East, if we stay behind technology curve, our economy will go down. We should not allow, we should not let it, as early today in the session in the auditorium, somebody say, we all have to go out and protest against our government, put more resources into technology, don't fall behind US and behind China. And we're falling sharply behind China. So if we look on all of that, every technology change, it's actually changed the entire society. And AI will be more than anything else. It affects our social and our way of communication from one point to another. It affects the education way in our society. It affects, as we say, the economy is a technology. The entire industrial revolution technology is depend now on moving forward with the new technology. The environment is changing. And we need to see how we're going to put all those lithium that we create our automotive, how we'll reuse it, and where we'll have the mind to do that. And of course, the policies, and that's the key element. And here I want to see government enabling policies to enable the progress of technology. You should not put all the barrier and red tape and stop it. You should create and enable those technology to move without change, without risking our democracy, without risking our liberal society, without risking human life, without risking the environment. That's the task of the government. Government should not decide what will be developed and what not. Excuse me, it's not only in Europe, they are not capable for that. I spent 6 years of my career in the government, they're not capable to do those decisions. That's the private sector need to do, the academia, the scientists. Government need to create the environment, the ecosystem that will enable it. I can talk about it for hours. And then, of course, all the value changes. So what we see is really a major change across all our lifespan, across all our human being. And if we look, again, on example on communication, so people in the cave were writing on the walls. If you don't believe me, go to Egypt, go to see all those carving on the cave. And then the pigeon that were changing a mail or delivering the mail. And then the marathon where people were running actually to send the messages. And again, from the prehistoric into the 1840, 1870, you start to see a real fast pace of how the communication is changing. And again, every change in technology, people got concerned whether or not it will create a lot of unemployment and people will not have anything to do. What in return happened that a new field were open. If today anyone can think that he can live without a smartphone, so all those people who were switching on the switchboard, changing the plugs, so they become remote promoters of product, salespeople, and so on. So another area that a major impact and a major jump in the technology is in medicine. The human genome that was funded heavily in the US in 2003, and then AI application into that. And then now you can do for a few $100. Here it says in 2018, $1,000 to have a whole genome map. Today you can do it in $200 or $300. and the digital adoption. And now you can do, if any of you came from the field of semiconductors, the design is done, first of all, in simulation. Then you run the simulation. Then you go to use the product. You go to the doctor. He, in many cases, is trial and error. He is not really knowing what is your genome. He has no way to do that. He don't know your microbiome. He doesn't have any way to do it. A little bit of a blood test. It's a lot of guessing and a lot of build-up of experience, but not going down scientifically to the basic. And that's what now, with all the development of the genomic mapping, you can go all the way from the genomic to the epigenomic, into the mRNA, into protein, into metabolism, and into microbiomic. All of a sudden, you can do the whole vertical from the very, very, very basic of the human cells, that you can start analyze it. Again, we don't understand, even today that we know how to map the DNA, we don't understand all the segments there. It's billion of combinations. But we know how to cure some rare disease that have some mutation in the genomic. We know today how to do that, and we can take it down the road. And from that, once you understand the building block, you can go down to the extraction and dimensional reduction. You can do into the multi-omic, so you can understand more in how that affect the human body. You can use more statistics because you see similar people with similar behavior, so you can use statistics. And the all biological insight, the biomarker, all of a sudden, the medical field become more what I call scientific. My daughter is an oncologist, and when I told her that they do guessing and not using a scientific way of analysis, she got very upset with me. She said, why I studied so many years? And you said, well, of course you do, but it's a different, now you have more data, and that's what really counts. Now come the interface between the robotics and the AI. The agentic AI is intelligent agent that make independent decision. So the robot also make independent decision, execute tasks, even engage in long-term planning. So all of a sudden you can have a machine that can make a decision and operate it with a certain degree of automation. That we need to make sure that it doesn't go out of the border that we define for it. And mimic like intelligent enabling. So now it's not only the AI, but the AI that can make decision, that can execute on the decision, that can now go from the perception and go through the intelligence and put the intelligence through the tool and take action. So how all of that will affect employment? So Gartner did some analysis in 2018, and as you can see where all those words came that we're going to lose jobs is because early on the thought was, so they were here, that the AI is causing job losses. And it's true, it was. But as time goes, there is more of new field that coming, new professions, and you can see their interpretation or their prediction that the light blue is a gain of jobs, the dark blue is a loss of jobs, and what you can see is that net, we have adding jobs. And if you go to the further out, you can see how the jobs map actually will increase, but you will need to get a new capability, a new professionalism, and it's not those what are uneducated people. They will not be able to go there. So the all education system in all countries need to go to a higher level, so those graduates from high school can go and take a higher level job. Big data specialist will be the largest one, of course, because we're dealing with so much data. AI specialists, software development, data warehousing, data analysis, all of those going to grow, as you can see, exponentially. So which field will gain job and which field may lose job? The gains probably will go in the health, all the healthcare that we talked about and medical equipment, scientific and technical, communication, hospitality. Who will lose job? You can see construction. Earlier today was a discussion here on robotic for construction, and they said construction with no employees, or no builders actually. It's only running the robots. So it's great. You don't have to work in the sun, in the snow, sweat or freeze on a construction. The robot will do all this tough job. Transportation, more automation. The guy here from BMW, they are looking forward for that. And manufacturing. So in the manufacturing, already today we can see supply chain is being done tremendously by the robotics and by the system. New product development, a cobot, which is man-robot interaction. All of those order management, it's clerk work. The software and the AI can do it much, much faster and much easier, and a new job will have to be found. So in that productivity expansion, AI will automate routine tasks. When you need to do analysis, I argue that machine will never replace a doctor. We should not let it happen. But the machine will give the doctor more data to analyze and to assess, and may even give him some proposal. That's fine. But they cannot give them the feeling. They cannot give them the special situation that the patient is at. And we see in the lawyer world, the AI will draft the first paper, and then the lawyer will handle more cases. Medical, we already talked. In education, more AI tutor, and the teacher made more effectivity. Also, for startups, when you have, that will reduce the barrier for entrepreneurship, because you can get those activities of coding, of marketing, or bookkeeping by the robot. The machine will do all of that work for you. You don't need to hire people. You can get much smaller team. You can increase the startup productivity, and now you can do a much higher level job. Jason Wang, so for all of that, you need a lot of infrastructure, a lot of data center with huge investment. Jason Wang, NVIDIA founder and CEO, he estimated 3 to 4 trillion of AI factory infrastructure will be built through the end of this decade. $3 to $4 trillion. So it's going to be a heavily invested infrastructure in order to accommodate all this work. And that brings me to the conclusion that it will increase, all this technology will increase the job. It will rise the income and consumption. As a result of it, you have more money, you spend more. It will increase the healthcare and the aging population, and the investment in infrastructure and energy, as we saw, 3 to 4 trillion. So all in all, history shows that new technology create more work than they replace. And I went with you from the ancient human being all the way to today, and new profession will be created. We're going to see different type of jobs. So in summary, artificial intelligence and agentic AI don't merely replace jobs, they also broaden opportunity. And that's, I think, crucial for all of us. It's increase productivity, increase the GDP, it's create new industry and profession, enable entrepreneurship, and require ecosystem support and enabling regulation. The results: improve life quality, more employment opportunity, and more prosperity. So, thank you.